What's going on, everybody? It's your boy QuestX coming back at you once again, and this is the video that I promised and I have been trying to work on between family things and work and everything else. But the excellent story, which I just think it's about damn time. The IBF ordered the fight between Caleb Plant, Sweet Hands, my dude, my man, 100 grand, the dude who I believe is the real true sleeper in the division, versus Uskatege. And forgive me if I'm butchering Uskatsuge's name. I think it's Uskatsuge or Uskatsugai. But please do forgive me, Venezuelan people, if I have butchered his name. But most people, they got their first look at Uskatsuge or Uskatsugai this past year, and he seemingly he's gained overnight. You know how it is in boxing. He's gained overnight this reputation of being a killer. Let me tell you something. Sweet Hands is gonna put them hands on him. Okay, this is gonna be the bull versus the matador. Caleb Plant is one of my favorite fighters. I've been not the only person on here talking about him, but I do feel I am the one that's kind of been pushing it out that this kid is the real deal and he needs to be recognized universally as a fundamentally brilliant fighter, okay, who literally his IQ and how he processes his opponents is almost on the level. It really does remind me of Sweet Pea, okay? And by that I mean that he processes his opponent's offensive game so quickly. It's usually the first, second round. Caleb Plant has him, man. He has him. There is like literally the man's jab is beautiful. His hooking off the jab is brilliant. His right hand, when he lands his right hand, he almost is always in position. He goes to the body. He can fight in close corners. He can fight off the back foot. He can do it all. And I've been trying to sit here and say this for a very long time. James DeGale, okay, that pussy, that bitch. Yeah, that's right. I'm going to use foul language when it comes to James DeGale. That coward, okay, when Caleb Plant was inside, was going to the press conferences and offering to throw up his whole purse and sitting up there trying to promote the fight and tell you guys that he could beat the living dog shit out of James DeGale worse than any other fighter. Telling you, Caleb Plant is the truth. This man is the real deal. And when he fights Uskatsuge or Uskatsugai, again, forgive me, Venezuelan people, but it's going to be bad, man. It's going to be bad. I'm just keeping it all the way 100. And he improves with each fight as if he needs more improvement. The knock on my man Caleb Plant was early on was that when he would process his fighters, he tends to just pepper them into a victory. He doesn't tend to try ultimately to hurt them. But I like his strategy. He will continue to batter you until you begin to drop those hands, and then he just unloads the kitchen sink on you. But he's always defensively sharp, and he's always aware that his fighters can, at any time, a hurt man is a dangerous man, as Joe Frazier would often say. But at the end of the day, I think this is going to be a great fight. I think, again, I'm giving Uskatsuge and the Venezuelan people their credit. You got a tough fighter, but this is going to be bad, bro. This is going to be a badass beating because the pressure that Uskatsugai has to unload on Caleb Plant, I don't see him being able to keep it up for all 12 rounds. And also the other thing is that Caleb Plant is a lot stronger than most people give him credit for. He fights off the back foot because he is a fan of the sweet science. He knows that the game is about getting hit and not get hit. And I just see Uskatsugai leading with his head down, getting hit with counter uppercuts, getting hit with counter shots. I would even be as far as to sit there and say the best punch that Caleb Plant can use is pull counters all night on Uskatsugai. I've been watching a couple of his fights. He's literally, his head is almost literally always down. And it's just going to be a bad, bad night. And I know a lot of people I see people in the comment sections of these articles when it's talking about this fight, and everybody's like, oh, well, oh, his power, Uskasige's power he can hurt anybody. Dog, you can't hurt what you can't see. Just go back and watch the Porky Medina fight, man. Go back and watch the Porky Medina fight with Caleb Plant. How quickly he processed Porky Medina. And people are going to sit there and say, oh, well, that was Porky Medina. But don't give me that shit, because Porky Medina almost beat the dog shit out of James DeGale, okay? Don't give me that shit. No. Porky Medina is a tough, rugged fighter. The only thing, the difference is the length. I think Uskasiga is going to have Porky Medina beat on length, but for the most part, they fight literally the same. They coming in, trying to go to the body, trying to go over the top, bum rush you. And Caleb Plant, by the round 4, you had Porky Medina throwing temper tantrums because he couldn't find Caleb Plant. Okay? This is going to be brilliant. My man Caleb Plant is coming, and I'm happy for him. This is the fight he needed. I'm wondering how many dudes going to duck him. Because I can tell you right now, I bet you any amount of money, I think that my man Caleb Plant stops Uskasiga. And I'll just keep it all the way 100. I think he stops him. Because Caleb Plant, in recent interviews, he understands and he knows that the fan base, they're clamoring for him to really put the hurting on somebody. And because, again, like I said, the knock on my man Caleb Plant is that he processes them so well, so balanced, that he doesn't put himself in unnecessary harm. He's much, much like Floyd in that aspect. He will literally sit there and pop shot you all night long, make you look foolish, okay? People talk a lot about, and I'm not trying to knock, okay? Hear me out, because once I mention Vasily Lomachenko, right? People try to sit there and talk about, oh, he's so high tech. Watch a boxing match with Caleb Plant. That's high tech. That's chess. That is what you call somebody who understands and knows distance, who understands and knows counterpunching, understands and knows what he needs to do, when he needs to do it. Again, not a knock on Vasily Lomachenko, because, again, I don't want people coming on here sitting up saying I'm hating on Lomachenko. I'm just talking about Caleb Plant is that dude, man. He is that guy, okay? He beat the dog shit out of the Durrells. He beat the dog shit out of James DeGale. He beat the dog shit out of everybody in that division. And I can sit there and honestly say that hands down. Like, there would be no... You hit Caleb Plant when he wants you to hit him. And I'm just keeping it all the way 100. If you watch most of his fights, it's because he leans on the wall. He leans back on the ropes and he just lets you unload, much the same way Floyd did. Okay, so I don't want to hear nothing about, oh, well, yeah, right, what you talk about, he lets people hit him. Yes, Floyd oftentimes would compute his fighters so well that at one point in the fight, he would just let them unload the kitchen sink on him. And then when he said, are you finished? He'd then start peppering the hell out of you and abusing you. Okay, and that's Caleb Plant, man. And I forget one of my subs, Antonio McCrae. Yeah. Shout out to Antonio McCrae. He's a big Caleb Plant fan. Every video, if I mentioned him, he would always be there. Shout out to you, Antonio McCrae. Yeah, man, we're about to be, as Caleb Plant fans, very, very, very vindicated. Because once this man gets his hands on a title, he ain't losing that title for a very long time. Shout out to Caleb Plant, sweet hands. Shout out to Uskasiga. Again, forgive me, Venezuelan people, for screwing his name up if I did. But shout out to you guys. Shout out to Uskasiga for wanting this fight, for being excited about this fight. And I just can't wait to see it. It's your boy QuestX. I'm out. Peace.